If you have been on the internet at any point over the last decade to last 5 years as a musical theater or an art fan, there's more than likely a chance that you were able to see the beautiful start and the rapid decline of what I call the Renaissance of animatics. But for those of you who weren't around to witness this renaissance, let me give you the full history of the rise and fall of these YouTube animatics, and how fans and artists of these animatics were influenced heavily into who they are today. To paint a picture of my early adolescence absolute obsession with musical animatics, I was the girl who begged my teachers to play the animatics during class so I could sing and perform to them in front of everybody. Needless to say, that part of history is behind me now, but it is for sure that these animatics had so much influence over me and over thousands of others. Let's all time travel in our minds to the year 2015, where everything you own is galaxy themed and has a million hot topic pins about being an alien or eating pizza. Among all this madness, you happen to stumble to a soundtrack, one that will change your life forever. And this soundtrack, of course, is the Hamilton musical soundtrack. Hamilton is still heavily praised today for being one of the first musicals that tried to appeal to its young audience through its style of hip-hop while learning all about history. And while a lot of people were suspicious about its success at first, its popularity definitely skyrocketed, all thanks to one person. And this person has gone by a few different usernames on the internet. Maybe you've known them by Skibbles, or maybe you know them by Cryptic Worm, but the username they are most popular for is Galactibun. Am I ringing any bells yet? Perhaps this might do the trick. Or, more famously, this might do the trick. It is hard to specifically date when Galactibun officially started their animatics and in which order they run into, because so many of their animatics got deleted, and this was mainly because of so much hate that they received from the Hamilton fandom. While you can't give an exact date to these videos, you can guess the order of these videos based on the art style that is presented in the video. The art style of Galactibun was something that was really popular, and I think something that helped contribute to this was a show that was also really popular during this time, and that show is Steven Universe. And while this is just my personal theory, in my eyes at least, Galactibun's style was very similar to Steven Universe, which was a style that was super popular at the time and which many people recreated, only Galactibun's style was much cutesier. So many people, including myself, took inspiration from this style and tried to incorporate it into our own art. And I think that helped to make them even more popular, and also attracted a bunch of people who were jealous of the style and took it as a means to attack them. But their early start with a few Hamilton animatics would not be their last, as it would help to inspire others to create their own animatics, and the Renaissance began to grow even more when it's found its next musical to absolutely devour. And that musical is Heathers. The musical Heathers is when things really started to pick up within the animatic community and helped to grow massively. Many people started branching outside of just making Hamilton animatics and started applying animatics to their own original characters or their favorite characters themselves. But Heathers is what I really think caught the attention of those who weren't just interested in musical theater. It's sad to say, but I think one of the main reasons Heather gathered so much attention was because of the controversial character JD, who, let's just say, was a villain in a time where villains were very, very popular. The Heathers musical was way more serious than Hamilton, and I think that's what made people flock to it even more. Soon, it wasn't just Galactibun. Many artists such as Zin, Elemental FA, and Annie Doodles were able to debut their art through the animations and animatics of Heathers. And others, like I mentioned, started their own art journeys through the influence of animatics. A great example of this is my favorite YouTuber, Emma Richu, who started off her channel creating animatics during this renaissance. And today we can see that she has been able to successfully create a career for herself by starting off through making animatics. After Heathers, the community soon found Dear Evan Hansen, which features some similar topics going over mental health found in Heathers. By this time, the animatic community was fully flourished in its celebration of musical theater. There were thousands of fanfictions, fan arts, Tumblr accounts, mood boards, and so much more based on these musicals. People loved Dear Evan Hansen for its characters. And while now today we can look back, especially now with the movie, and we can question some of the decisions that were made, people loved when this musical came out, and for its advocacy for mental health and its portrayal of mental health. And while today we look at Dear Evan Hansen much differently than we did then, back then Evan was drawn with flower crowns and called a small baby and just a cute little anxiety guy. But after that movie came out, the only thing I want people to draw on his head is a graduation cap, because no way was that man in high school. That was a full-grown man. That was very strange. Anyways, and now going on to the last musical within this animatic renaissance is Be More Chill. And some people might debate that this isn't the last one in the Renaissance because Six and Mean Girls would come a couple years after, but I think the gap between these musicals is too big compared to the rapid fire change between Heathers to Dear Evan Hansen to Be More Chill. And I also think that Six and Mean Girls, while I think they are amazing musicals, the community definitely was not the same, and it definitely wasn't as intense as it was when Hamilton came out. But the Animatic girlies really went in for blood when they did the Animatics to Be More Chill, because by this time, the standard for what makes a good animatic had changed so much, and one really good animatic creator is Claudia Kakasi? I don't think I'm saying that right, but her animatics were amazing. The composition, the perspective, it raised the bar for animatics so high, and I recommend that if you haven't seen them before, that you go watch them after this, because they're amazing. Anyways, like Dear Evan Hansen, Be More Chill featured mental health issues, with their most prominent and objectively best song being Michael in the Bathroom, which is about a character who is having a panic attack in the bathroom. The community gobbled this musical up, and it was kind of sad because this is where the timeline ends. I remember for myself waiting months and months for the next musical to hit, and no big musical ever came, and I was just thinking to myself, what now? But alas, that is the end of the Renaissance animatic timeline. Let me know down in the comments if you were ever a part of this and what experiences you had in that community. I was a little involved, and some of the people that I met within that community were crazy, but I forgive and forget, forgive and love, forgive and learn. The Animatic Renaissance is definitely one that will be remembered for years to come. The influence of this Renaissance was so powerful to artists. And something else that I want to mention, and I'm not sure if this is just me or just a couple of people get this, but for me, who was a part of this Renaissance and indulged in it, I now cannot listen to music without picturing a storyboard within my mind. And it's ruined me, and it's bettered me, and it's kind of cool, but I also can't listen to songs normally anymore. And whether your experiences within the Animatic Renaissance were good or bad, I think it's fair to say that it is unforgettable. Alright, before I end, I really want to thank you guys so much for the support of my last video. I love reading all of your comments, and whether you agreed or disagreed, I loved hearing everybody's different perspectives. I am telepathically sending each of you a lemon buttercream cupcake. I hope you enjoy it. Bye!